Our mission at Resilient Advisor is to have a significant impact on the retirement crisis by educating and empowering financial advisors to better serve their clients. This interview is part of the How I Serve series, where we interview top financial advisors who are making a difference in the lives of their clients.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Resilient Advisor. This episode is part of the How I Serve series, where top financial advisors share how they built their business and how they serve their clients. Joining me today is Ryan Schrift, the founder and CEO of R.J. Schrift Private Asset Management. Ryan, thanks for coming on to tell your story.
Thanks, Jay. Grateful to be here.
All right, so we're going to get into your tech stack. We're going to get into your thoughts around investments, marketing, but we'd like to start with your clientele and who you serve. So Ryan, who's your target market?
Well, Jay, the target's probably best laid out in three different areas. One would be geographically local to Belmont, North Carolina, where we work with a lot of retirees and successful business folks. Number two would be self-made business owners. I've found that by starting my own business, I've been able to relate to a lot of business owners who've kind of built their machine shop or real estate firm from scratch. And finally, NetJets employees. I've been working with NetJets pilots and employees for over a decade. We know the ins and outs of their retirement plan, their health benefits, how their union contracts work. And that's developed to be quite a target market for us, specifically over the last 3 to 5 years.
How did you get started with NetJets as a target market? That's definitely unique.
Yes. So sure. I have a brother who happens to be a pilot at NetJets. He did nothing more than ask me if I could help him, give him some advice on his 401k. Pilots in general have schedules which takes them on the road, on and off, on and off. And one of the things he always mentions to me is he'll get home from traveling for 7 days and he'll have a stack of things he needs to go through. Plus he needs to spend time with his family. And then the next thing you know, he's got to be back out on the road. And so this was something that I could take off of his plate. Over the years, some other folks had similar concerns as his. And it kind of developed just in a small little group of folks who all kind of knew each other. Now that's completely different. We've really taken a dive into understanding all of the mechanics. I would say that we're an expert in that area. And then we also produce content that any employee at NetJets can subscribe to on a quarterly basis at no charge to them.
Gosh, that really is niching down. It's not just people in the airline industry. You're getting down to a specific carrier. It's fantastic. But you also have those other silos. Tell us a little bit more about those other people you serve, those other niches.
Yeah, so, a lot of retirees. We started off working with a lot of blue-collar retirees in Western Pennsylvania, which is where I grew up. My dad was a lineman for, 30 years and then eventually moved into a technician role with General Telephone and Electric, which is Verizon now. And so he needed help, like everybody who works for a company for 30 or 40 years does. They often have a pension or a 401k plan. They may have interest in doing it themselves, but for most of them, they work their entire life. Now they have this money and they don't want to screw it up. And we can come in and meet with them and understand what they're trying to accomplish, try and segment the dollars, put them in specific buckets for particular purposes in the future. And then, a lot of business owners that we've worked with over the years are folks who are growing their firms and businesses quickly. They're also looking for exit strategies throughout that process. And within that, business owners, some of those top level folks, we call them the C-suite folks, the CFOs, COOs, CEOs of different companies. We can get into some of the more complicated metrics for them, specifically around, when to take money out, where to take it from, how to do different exchanges, and really try to hang on to their wealth and manage it in the most tax efficient way possible.
Excellent. So Ryan, financial advisors watching this, they're going to be curious as an independent advisor what your tech stack looks like. I could talk about this stuff all day long because it can be so impactful to an independent advisor's business. Let's start at the bottom. Your CRM, what are you using?
Redtail Technology, been using them for 9 years. Had a great experience with it thus far. I'm sure you could build things to be a little bit more specific to everybody's unique needs. But as far as a broader system, Redtail has been very helpful for us. We've built checklists around it and workflows. We can keep our notes in there, and we can even connect it to other technology platforms.
Excellent. And I say it's the bottom because longtime followers of the show know I'm a big believer in having a CRM system as the quarterback of all your technology, but that has to sit on top of a custodian. So who are you custodian with today?
So we're multi-custodian. We use LPL Financial, and that's kind of our backbone, everything that we do. We are part of a separate RIA, and because of them, I do have another advisor that works with TD Ameritrade directly.
Tell me about that other RIA you're associated with.
It's called Independent Advisor Alliance. It's really a great story. Robert Russo started that practice or that firm back in, I want to say 2014, 2015 timeframe. He's had exponential growth. He's always been just very accessible to individual advisors. He's always been very forward-looking. I always like to say in a business where it's hard to trust people, I trust him a lot. And so it's been fun to watch him grow and be successful over the years. He's certainly been very supportive of what we've done on the retail side.
Yeah, Robert Russo and the Independent Advisor Alliance, they have a great reputation in the industry, and you actually fit the ideal profile of somebody that they serve, in my opinion. So being multi-custodial, when you have a new relationship, what's the decision-making process when you decide where you're going to put the new client's assets?
We use LPL Financial as our primary custodian. The other custodians are used for specific purposes. So Jim, who is another advisor within our shop, he uses TD Ameritrade 100% of the time. And then I use Charles Schwab to assist in managing accounts for folks at NetJets.
Got it. Because they're integrated with their 401k platform, I'm assuming?
Correct.
Yeah. Excellent. What about financial planning software?
I use Wealthvision. It's a white label e-money copy that we get through LPL Financial. I'll tell you what I really like about it is if you use the white label through LPL Financial, you get access to all the certified financial planners at LPL to bounce ideas off of to help you run different reports. And they're able to deliver on whatever we usually need. The software is good. I haven't messed around with a whole lot of other types of financial planning software, but it's always been able to give us the answers that we need. It's been simple enough for our clients to understand it. It's certainly affordable. It integrates pretty well. But
and what is your portfolio management and rebalancing tool?
So we have enhanced trading at LPL Financial. And so that's what we use.
The internal Clientworks tool.
The internal Clientworks tool. That's right.
So for an advisor that is not affiliated with LPL listening to this, at LPL, they have a resource called Clientworks, which really integrates well with the software for financial planning that Ryan just mentioned, as well as the internal rebalancing. So it negates the need for some type of overlay like an Orion or a Black Diamond. But you could still use it. Did you ever go through the exercise of determining whether you needed to use one of those types of service providers?
So we actually do use Orion, not for trading. We use it for more of a monitoring system for compliance purposes. But Orion and Black Diamond are both popular within RIAs, and Orion's kind of the chosen path within Independent Advisor Alliance.
Excellent. Any other software that you're using in your practice today?
We just started using Holistaplan.
I'm a big fan of Holistiplan. They've been on the show before. It's an amazing piece of software. Visit holistiplan.com to learn more. I don't have an affiliation with them. Ryan, tell us how you're using Holistiplan in your business.
This is new for us. We're constantly looking for ways to add value to our clients. And there is not a day that goes by where our clients are mentioning tax concerns, or they're curious of how much they can put into a Roth account, or if they're correctly leveraging different retirement accounts. And so what this software allows us to do is take a complicated tax return and strip it down and give us the information that we need to just make basic observations to then share with the client, or they can share it with their tax advisor to then find ways to put dollars in the most put dollars away in the most tax efficient way. But to be frank, we just started using this a month ago. I think it's a huge opportunity for us going forward, just based on the clientele that we serve, and really, what we've found is most tax preparers and CPAs do tax returns, and they rarely take a deeper dive into it to try and navigate through the tax system to better understand how much money they can put in different accounts.
Yeah. Ryan, I think the Holistiplan tool will help you build deeper relationships with the centers of influence of your clients and help you better serve your clients. It really is a good tool to integrate into a practice. Has there been any software providers that you had implemented into your business that you took out?
So we had been using Riskalyze. We've had good success with them. In fact, I like the software a lot. LPL purchased Advisory World about a year ago. So when we started analyzing how much we use those types of softwares, it made more sense for us to go a more cost-effective way. It's not an anchor of our business. It's more of a support system that we use with a smaller percentage of our clients. And so for us, the amount of time that we were using it just made more sense.
Mm-hmm. So Ryan, at Resilient Advisor, we think it's important for advisors to still have a good handle on investments, even if they outsource them. In fact, we believe that if you should lead with investing and serve with planning, because to serve people, they have to become a client first. And most people want to talk about investments more than they want to talk about financial planning. So tell us, what is your investment philosophy?
So more than just the philosophy of selecting investments, our philosophy around managing money is asset dedication. And asset dedication, we believe, is more customized to an individual client. So modern portfolio theory has a broader perspective of asset allocation. And while it works over a long period of time, we believe that dedicating each investment dollar for a particular purpose that's going to be used at a particular time will have better success, or stack the odds in our client's favor. And so once you have those dollars set aside, a lot of people call this like a bucket approach, but and you start thinking about cash and bonds and stocks. The product itself isn't that important to the client once they can visualize how much money needs to go in each of the buckets. As far as the buckets go, we believe that your growth bucket should be money that you don't touch for 5 years, so you can go through some different investment cycles. There's a lot of good products that can mix within there. We use a lot of individual stock portfolios. Kind of in that intermediate bucket there, there's bonds and structured notes, fixed annuities, different things that can fit in that category. And really the short-term cash bucket, it's there for liquidity, safety, not for return. And you're not getting much of a return in that bucket today.
That's right. It's been a long time since we've had any return in that bucket.
Not in my career.
Not in your career. That's awesome. Well, that actually brings me to my final question for you, Ryan. You're clearly on the younger side as it relates to people in the industry. Most have as much gray hair as I do. Tell us, at 36 years, how old are you? 36?
36.
36 years old. Why do you think you've been able to build the business that you've been able to build at such a young age?
So I think it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of preparation, a little bit of luck along the way. And so, getting started out, I've been very fortunate to have people who have mentored me, who I trust completely and are still in my ear to this day. And so I've been able to be surrounded by some good folks throughout my entire career. I've also taken a lot of time to study the industry. I read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of CDs, and really tried to ramp up my game as far as a technical background. And when I got started in this business, I moved to Charlotte. That was 400 miles away from where I grew up. I was 22. So I couldn't even really relate that well to anybody with money or people in the area. And so I really had to try and get a better understanding of those folks. Been successful. I think, we always just try to do what we say we're going to do and deliver outcomes that exceed the expectations that we lay out in front of our clients. Over the last 5 years, though, we've had exponential growth. And that has been because of operational efficiencies. Everything from streamlining our day-to-day processes within the office to streamlining our client communication strategy and really putting ourselves in a position where we can focus on our clients as individuals on an ongoing basis so that they feel comfortable referring us to their friends and families. And so we've had a lot of success with that. And we hope to continue to do so in the future.
Well, Ryan, I appreciate you coming on the How I Serve series on the Resilient Advisor. You're very generous with your time, sharing with the industry how you built your business and how you serve your clients are going to help people who are that 22-year-old Ryan, who are just getting started in the business, plus the existing operators who are looking for some of the best practices. So we appreciate you coming on the Resilient Advisor.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.